Hi, everyone. I'm here today with Eugene Smit from South Africa. Eugene is one of our influencers at the Wize Move Society. So it's one of the trainers, coaches, and has a really great background. And we want to share a little bit more about who he is and what kind of programs he's bringing on the Wize Move Society. So, Eugene, the floor is yours. Tell a little bit more about your background.
Thanks, Ingun. So I spent the majority of my life in corporate as a director, running HR for various organizations, listed organizations, etc. I moved out of formal corporate and pursued a business development career for a while. 3 years spent time as a sales director, business development director, building a global sales channel, and then went on my own in 2011, and since then have been an executive OD consultant, transitioning from corporate into a second and a third career, as many of us over 50 have to do. Thanks, Ingun.
Yes, thank you. Why did you want to be part of this online community for the 50+ generation? Why the Wize Move Society?
So firstly, I mean, the Wize Move Society has such a broad reach in terms of connecting with people in the age group of over 50. And one of the things that stood out for me is this notion and this desire in myself to help others to achieve the smooth transition into the next life and career. So most of us have a life expectancy of 30 to 40 years beyond retirement, and financially it's just not possible to actually sustain ourselves for so long. So we have to find a way to break into the next space. And because of the research and the studies I've done in neuroscience, I've come to the conclusion that a lot of us are stuck without even realizing that we're stuck. And that brought me to the Wize Move Society and also to some of the programs which I offer.
Mm-hmm. Yes, many of us are stuck, and that is such a waste because there's so much knowledge, experience, and wisdom to share and still use into a new career. So you bring 2 programs at the Wize Move Society. Please share a bit more about that.
Yeah, so the 2 programs that I've decided to share on the Wize Move Society so far, one is self-coaching and the other one is rewiring my brain. Excuse me. Now, both of those programs are designed to help people understand what it is that's blocking us. So if I very briefly talk about it in terms of my mindset and in terms of where I get stuck as an individual, it's often a situation where I get to a point where my mind starts driving questions and thoughts that bubble up in my brain that basically question my worth to society. And if I allow those thoughts to fester and to grow, then it actually shuts my thinking down and I get more into autopilot as opposed to conscious thinking. So conscious thinking, we only have the ability to spend somewhere between 2 to 10% of our awake time somewhere on a normal distribution curve in our conscious thinking tool. But because of the way that the brain is structured, and if I allow those unconscious thoughts to grow, then it actually shuts down my conscious thinking even more. So I like to use an analogy just to explain it quickly and say that our brain is so vast, we've got so many things that happen in it that all of these connections in our brain, I equate to a horse with a rider on the horse. And the horse is the unconscious part of my brain in the analogy. So it'll dart off in any direction at any given moment without warning. And those are the thoughts that pop into my mind. Things like, I have no future, I'm lost, I've lost something I'll never find again. I'm just not my old self anymore. I've become a burden to others. I feel worthless. I can't find new meaning in my life. I feel helpless. And all of those thoughts, if we allow those thoughts to grow, then they become our reality. Now, the rider in this analogy is the conscious thinking part of the brain. And the conscious thinking part of the brain has the ability to say, hang on, what is that thought that's trapping me in the past? How do I reignite myself to live in the present? Because it's only in the present that I can influence the future. And then to deliberately go through a process of doing that. So the rewiring my brain is a short 1.5 hour session where I explain to people what is necessary to set goals that become achievable and sustainable instead of using technologies of the past, which just don't work. They just don't take us beyond our thinking process. And then the self-coaching process is a process that goes far deeper and consists of 3 2-hour sessions, so 6 hours in total, which helps people to go through a deliberate process of coaching self into action, into newness. I often hear people saying to me, it's so difficult to find my why, so difficult to find what my purpose is. Now, here's the problem, is it's not going to suddenly appear. It's going to have to be hard work where you sit and say, what is my new why in this phase of my life? And how will I establish what that why is? And then reignite my actions to actually take me in the new direction. And that's what I'm all about. I've done it for myself. I've done it for many others through coaching, and I'd like to share it with you. Thanks, Ingun.
Yes, fantastic. And, you know, Eugene, this is exactly what the Wize Move Society is all about, you know, because we do want to get everyone, well, to support everyone in that transition into the next phase of their life, because you're absolutely right. We still have quite some years that we can work, have to work, should work. You know, there's a lot of us that you know, are not just able to stop, but others just love to work and do things like this. So I'm really excited about your programs. And well, they are available, of course, for our members, but now also for the non-members of the Wize Move Society. So if you're not yet a member, you can join these programs of Eugene. You will pay a little bit extra because our members, of course, have the discount, but they also have all kinds of other things that they can join at the Wize Move Society. So if you really want to join Eugene, also consider to join the Wize Move Society, because then you do get the discount and you get a lot more than only these wonderful programs. So Eugene, thank you very much for you know, explaining us a little bit more about who you are and what you are offering. And well, I love to see many of you all who are watching right now in those groups of in those programs that Eugene is offering.
Thanks,
Well,
Ingun. If I can just leave with a final thought.
yes.
And the final thought is that an idle brain is a shrinking and diminishing brain. So it's time to reignite our brains, to reignite our thinking, and to grow our future lives. Thanks, Ingun.
I love that. We're going to finish with that statement. Thank you very much, Eugene, and I hope to see all of you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.